But don't mind, I have 20%.
Welcome to the
Exactly. So
Warrant and Finance meeting. To approve the school town warrant, or the town's school warrant, whichever the case may be. We're going to act on it. We're going to make recommendations on the school articles. And we have 19 articles to run through. Before we get started, are there any questions from the members of the Warrant and Finance Committee that may have come up since our last meeting with the school committee?
the only question I would ask is this the latest copy of the warrant that we have here?
It's hot off the press.
This one is, okay.
I believe, Tom, this is the one that the selectmen will sign tomorrow. This is the one that the selectmen are going to sign tomorrow night.
All changes have been made to very basic formatting changes that you and I discussed. There's no numbers, words, nothing else has been changed.
No one has any questions that they need answered by the school board? Good.
Well, I'd like to ask something. In looking at this, I haven't had time really to go through the budget, so I am going to be voting in favor of the budget. But I did look at the back a few, like 3 town reports, and there's nothing in there about academics, how well we do as academically for the school. And so I went up to the DOT website, and we're 43rd out of 600 and some odd schools in spending, yet our academics are only C. Last year, 18, only 49% of the pupils were at or above English, 34% were above the average. And in science, whoever you have for a science teacher should be cloned, because they were 75% above the main average. So what we're getting is we're paying Cadillac prices, and we're just getting an average education for our kids. And I just...
To answer your question, first of all, the reason that our per pupil cost is as high as it is because we're a small school system. We're an independent school system, which a few years ago we did not go in with the other big groups, because we would be paying more than we're paying now and getting less than we're getting now for services. We're a very low receiver, so that makes the town share of it a little bit more. He was asking while you were on, he was asking about the state results that are on. I know we're addressing in this particular life that we have, we're addressing some aggressive moves in the area of mathematics and also in literacy. So we're aware of where we need to show some improvement, and we're definitely working and gaining. In fact, we have gained this year. But already from our...
Sorry, I missed you. I'm John Ross.
Annie Murray, I know. I was just questioning the academic level of the school, and the state from last year's report was...
the NEA report from the state you drew down on, so that's the statewide.
Well, it's a statewide. I don't know which particular thing. It just says, I don't know.
Strong in science, pretty flat.
Well, this report is just the cost report. When you go up to the website, you have to look at 3 different things. You have to look at English, then you have to look at math, and then you have to look at science. And like I spoke when you were out, whoever you have as a science teacher, you should clone the person, because they're up around 75%.
Sure. Last year, Arnold, we had these questions early in the process in January, and we had a list of warrant finance questions that we could answer throughout the budget process based on last year's data, not on this year's data. We looked very closely at life-size school systems, which there aren't many in York County. There aren't many in Cumberland County. when you look at systems our size throughout Maine, which most of those are north of Anglo, and we look at our test scores and our cost per pupil, we fit, I'm going to say, within the range of schools our size. It's very difficult to measure Aston's performance and size against SAT 57, which is several times R1 school district. We did not do that this year. We were not asked to. We did not do the research. But based on a year ago, bringing in the numbers from measuring apples to apples, we're right there with everybody else, I would say, generally. I can pull that data up, which is a year old, while you continue to work if you'd like.
No, I just wanted to make people aware that our school scores could be higher.
And I heard Judy talk as I just came back in. That's something that we're focusing on particularly now.
And I'll make just a couple other comments. And one is that the reports that we get from Sanford High School, when the kids go down there, they are excellently trained at Acton. They're very well prepared when they go into a larger school system. And another thing to understand in the testing process is that, for instance, let's say second grade, let's say we have like maybe 25 kids in the second grade. There could be 3 or 4 of those kids that are special needs, that need special accommodations. And so our percentages are different from, say, a system that has 300 second graders, and they might have like 20 or 25 that are special needs. So they all get figured in together. They're not done separately. So that automatically pulls down the scores of a small school like ours.
It can work the other way too, though. You could have 17 fifth graders and 4 can do exceptionally well, way above state average with that fifth grade class because of 4 kids. We could also be well below because of 3 kids. It's part of the numbers and the size of the class. One of our smallest classes is fifth grade.
Okay.
Anything else? Leave us begin. The first article to consider is Article 2. I'll read the article and I'll see if there's any, oh, we have to have a motion, don't we? Yeah. To see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for regular instruction.
I make a motion to expend $2,729,763 for regular instruction.
Seconded.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Yes, Tom.
I'm going to vote as I have in the past, and I will bug everybody by reiterating the reasons, but I just want it clearly stated. And the following comments apply to Articles 2 through 12. My votes do not express an objection to the budget, but objection to the town meeting warrant wording, for the most part. A town meeting warrant is not the legal responsibility of the school committee, and we recognize that. It is the legal responsibility of the selectmen. They sign the warrant, they sign the tax commitment, and they sign the treasurer's warrants. The warrant is a sole legal document authorizing selectmen to raise money by taxation to support education, and the sole legal document that authorizes a selectman to disperse municipal funds in support of public education. The school committee has no authority to either raise money or disperse money or expend money. Only the selectmen can expend money. So my recommendation here, and I know there's a recommendation on the table, so we would have to vote that one down, would be to table Articles 2 through 12 before moving forward. But that's not a motion because there's already a motion on the table.
Now, when the selectmen sign this, Tom,
Yep.
it's their warrant.
That's correct. It is their request for the authority to expend municipal funds. They are the sole persons responsible for the development of the warrant, and they are the sole parties that can execute the warrant. Okay? My objection here in the wording of these articles goes to 2 points. The first point being to allow the school committee to expend, and again, the school committee does not have the authority to expend any municipal funds. And the second one is the use of the term expend. I don't know what the term expend means. I do know what the term appropriate means, and the wording in this article should be appropriate. Specifically, appropriate or appropriation grants to the selectmen the authority to expend municipal funds for the stated purpose of the article up to the limit of what the article stipulates in terms of funding, what's approved by the town meeting. I don't know that the term expend means any of those things because there is no discussion, no format, or no context in the form of the town meeting form of government, common law town meeting form of government, that includes that term. I'm done. Thank you.
I have a comment.
Yes, Virginia.
Going through these articles in this fashion, we're just looking at the totals, and
We are looking at each article as it is written and as it is recommended by the school committee.
I understand that. I'm thinking back to Saturday when we were talking to the town treasurer about how much of a potential increase in property taxes if everything went along and was approved the way it was laid out. And I think she said that it answers a question of, well, how much do we need to reduce some of these articles by in order to not have a property tax increase this year? And I think her figure was around 135,000.
May I, Ron?
Certainly.
So the comments are two things. So first of all, for Mr. Gore, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, we appreciate your comments and your concerns year after year after year. We hear them, and year after year after year. And I want the new members to hear this. I want the public to hear this. We've had two different attorneys, Drummond and Woodson, who oversees the school that has nothing to do with the municipality, and our own town attorneys review these warrant articles, send them tapes to these meetings that Mr. Gore has made these same comments year after year, and there's no other way to say it than they just don't agree with him. These attorneys that oversee the entire state of Maine agree and write these warrant articles. So we have to just agree to disagree. That's how they're doing it statewide. They're writing these articles. We have to support our attorneys rather than one individual. In regards to Virginia's comment, the 13 to 30 cents that the treasurer was talking about was primarily for the municipal. As I understand it, the school budget is down or pretty close to being flatlined.
It's of a $5+ million budget, it's up $8,000 or almost flat. It's actually less than 1%.
It's less than 1%. So the change that she was talking about was as if the school budget passed the way it was presented, knowing that was basically flatlined, and that from a municipal point, we may be looking at cutting that, but that's going to depend on what the selectmen want to do.
I'm looking at the whole picture, the school committee, the school department, and all the municipal departments as one total picture, one pot of money.
It's not one pot of money.
Well,
It's not one pot of money.
Yes, it is.
however you want to think about it.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking of it as one pot on paper.
Okay.
And when I look at these warrants and they have large sums of money here, I'm looking at the details saying, what's in here that's an absolute, gotta have it because we have a contract or there's a minimum, the state law has increased as far as salaries go. What's in here that's nice to have? What could we cut back in the school department or in any other department to keep the cost for the property taxes down or flat? So when we go through and we say yes or no, basically, to these amounts of money, it doesn't seem to leave, in my thinking, me a way to go through and say, well, that's nice, but I'd approve all the warrants, but I want to see 2% less across the board. And you, John Ross, it's your piggy bank, you're in charge of running it. You decide where the 2% is going to come, or whatever the number is, because you know your business better than I do. I'm looking at the grand scheme, not the individual department. I mean, I ran a budget. I knew I put fluff in there, or I'd never get half of what I wanted. I don't think I was the only person doing it. I think it still goes on today. So rather than tell you where to cut it from, that would be ridiculous if there's going to be a cut. Rather than saying yes to the total of all these 2 or 3 pages, I don't think it's unreasonable to say and maybe it's to other departments as well, it's not just school department. But this is for me a hard way to look at it. It doesn't get to a
The school
lower
budget
level.
is $8,000 up.
It's 0.8% higher as proposed than it was last year.
It's less than that.
0.8.
It's less than 1% or 0.6.
But if she's looking at a dollar
0.6.
amount, she's not looking
I
at
can give you that. It's $8,000, it's up $8,400.
So,
5 million. So that, you can do the math on what it's, like, I see what you're saying. You're looking, you're putting everything together as one pie and saying,
It's one town.
that's how you're seeing it. We're responsible for the school piece, and we bring forward a
Right.
budget of less than 1% increase.
So the motion would cut is that 8,000 and change. If that's the decision Warrant and Finance wants to do.
And that might not be,
But then
Something-
you have to make all the municipal budgets.
you do,
combined.
and you have to get to that point, so it's not just a
Dennis?
decision to be made tonight.
What I've seen over the years, the way the budget process works at the school is the department heads do their budgets and what they want, what they need, and they go to the superintendent with their budgets, and he looks at what they want and what they need, and most times it's down to what you need. And then when he goes to, talks to the school committee about it, if it's unreasonable, the school committee give him a line, I guess. We're not going to accept 5% increase in the school budget this year. You have to find a way to make it work so the townspeople will support what we need to operate the school. And I see no reason why that system has changed at all. I assume it's still the same way. And to talk about Tom's thing just a little bit, I understand what Tom's saying. And I guess the question is not if you can use this terminology. Is there a reason why you can't use raise and appropriate in your recommendation? Is there a reason why you cannot use that terminology?
I know that last year, we spent some town money on attorneys to try to ferret this out, and had expert opinion from the Maine Department of Education, and we're using the same language. I'm going to assume prior to I came, the same language we kind of always use. Moved that forward last year to the town vote, and it went through with the majority. There didn't seem to be any issues with the town court. This conversation that Mr. Board's having with us tonight is the same conversation we had last year.
And it will continue to be.
So last year, we threw resources out to try to ferret out what some of the issues were down, and so we didn't see a need to change anything, because our expert opinions were telling us that we were fine. And that's why we moved forward with the same language again this year, because we'd done research and spent some of the funding on it to make sure that we were in the right place.
They actually recommended that we not.
You're right. So I thought we were down to that last year. We would certainly discuss it again tonight, but that's the push of the group, I suppose.
I don't know how we're gonna resolve it tonight, but I would really like, myself anyway, to be able to sit down this next year and see if we can come to some kind of a agreement on a compromise.
We gotta get to the...
No, I appreciate,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that, but I think moving forward, I think what Tom wants to do can be accommodated, because even if you have to write the article a certain way, your recommendation can be whatever you want it to be. You know, I mean, we can recommend, instead of the recommendations the school committee put here, we can recommend to raise and appropriate the $2,700,000, and the town meeting has a right to do that. Just, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm just trying to pacify both sides, I guess.
May I, Mr. Chairman?
Speak.
Okay. We did not actually discuss much of this, but moving forward with it, the school committee is obligated to put its budget together and assemble its budget according to a state mandate. The terminology, once that's done, and that has to be done if we want to qualify for anything. Once that's done, the budget validation process, okay, which is the process by which we get it approved at the town meeting, can be in any format this town wishes. Now, what's happening here is that the lawyers understand statute. They do not understand common law. So they're giving you the same formula that they're giving to everybody else, the RSUs. We are not an RSU, we are a municipal school unit. And because we are a municipal school unit, there's a carve-out in the law that permits us to go through the validation process in any format we wish. Okay? Now, maybe the lawyers are too lazy to look it up, don't know about it, or whatever. Beg your pardon?
I said, maybe you're just wrong.
Okay, all right, you were going to...
Every year we play these tapes, we let them hear your opinion. We don't care if a word or two changes, Tom, and maybe I'm out of line. I'm sorry, but honestly, we are okay. The selectmen's office is critical. We don't care if we change the words. But they don't want us to take your recommendations. How are we supposed to do that? They tell us not to. I mean, Kim, you've heard them tell us that. Every year, do not change it based on this one individual. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
There's actually a fellow at the State Department of Ed who was doing a workshop later this month for towns to get their warrants written correctly, lawfully through Title 20A for any town in the state of Maine that wants to work. We work with the State Department of Ed. Kim sent our articles up ahead of time and had this person review it, who reviewed it for us last year, worked directly with Kim and said, yeah, this is tight, this is what you want to go with. So we kind of take our lead, we need to take our lead from the State Department of Ed, and then last year we did the extra step of having this comment, and we had some lawyers look at it as well.
One more comment, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Last one.
Okay, fine, and then we can put it to bed.
Please.
We are a home rule state. We're one of 10 in the country. What is unique in that scenario is that state law tells us what we cannot do. It doesn't tell us what we can do. By virtue of the fact that we're a home rule state, okay, we get to write it here in our community. The question we should be asking the attorneys is, when we show them something, is not, is this legal? We should be asking them the question, is it not legal? Because that's what state statute tells us. It tells us what is not legal, and that's because we're a home rule state. We are unique, but that's the scenario that we have, and that's why we are permitted to write it as we see fit. We should take that document, develop a document that works for us, as we have done in the past, take that to the attorneys and ask them, is it not legal? What is not legal about this? That's the question to be asked. Not is it legal, because anything in this town does that is not illegal is automatically legal. In other words, there's a broad variety of options out there. Legal doesn't mean it's good governance, it just means it's legal. And virtually anything we do is legal. I'm done. Thank you.
Yes, Kim?
The only thing I'd like to say is the reason why these articles are written this way is so the state, when it comes to state subsidy, all schools are on the same playing field. Follow all the same articles. Every school, whether it's a big school, a little school, a school way up in Eastport, or it's at 57 and if you don't follow these formats and supply the information to the state in this manner, they will take away our state subsidy.
That's correct.
And my concern with that is, and I've seen a very close town that changed their articles last year. And the state come down pretty hard on them and basically had said, you either change it back or you're going to lose your state subsidy. Now this year we get $279,000. It's not a whole lot, but it's still a big cost. And then it also connects into all our rates as well. So I get that you can sit there and write one line, X amount for the school. But that one line might also have to take into consideration, if we don't follow the state format, So we're gonna lose that $280,000 on the other side, and the town's gonna pick up. It just doesn't make any sense.
Man,
Last one.
this isn't about the wording, because honestly, that is not any concern of mine.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand it, and that's why I would never speak about it. But I wanted to talk about what Virginia said, and historically, in the last 10 years, the school budget has increased only 8%. The budget this year and the budget 10 years ago, it's an 8% increase. Transportation costs have increased more than 8% in 10 years. A lot of things have increased more than 8% in 10 years. And this school committee and this school department is extremely responsible and with our money. And the 13 to 30 cents that the tax rate is looking to go up has absolutely nothing to do with the school budget. If you look at the municipal budget and all the departments, you're gonna see in the last 10 years a lot more than an 8% increase. So I think that we need to keep in mind that yes, it's all one bank account, one town, but this, I just can't see cutting any money out of any of these articles, because this board has been so responsible consistently, year after year after year.
With that said, I'd like to call for a vote. How does the committee feel? Does the committee want to recommend approval of the article as written?
I think the motion was for our recommendation 2B, to expend $2,729,763 for regular instruction. That's
Wonderful.
what we're voting on.
Then let's vote on that. Yay or nay? Can I see a yay, a showing of yays? 5 yes, 1 no. We recommend that article. Moving along, and to expedite things, I'll read the article to see what sum the town of Acton shall authorize the school committee to expend for special education. School committee recommends to expend $1,019,071 for special ed.
I make a motion to expend $1,019,071 for special education.
Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of expending $1,019,071 for special education, please raise your hands. 5, 1. Moving along to Article 4.
There's nothing there.
To see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for career and technical education. Ooh, a moot article. School committee recommends 0. Can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion to expend $0 for career and technical education.
Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call for a vote. Do we want to expend $0 for career and technical education? Yes votes, please. 5 to 1. Article 5, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for other instruction. School committee recommends to School committee recommends to expend $53,233 for other instruction. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to expend $53,233 for other instruction.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of expending $53,233 for other instruction, please raise your hands. 5, 1. Sounded determined to make my life miserable, aren't you, Tom?
Well, I told you what I was going to do.
I know what you were going to do. Nothing's changed.
Right.
Article 6, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for student and staff support. School committee recommends to expend $560,263 for student and staff support. Do I get a recommendation, please?
I make a motion.
Or a motion, excuse me.
Yeah, I make a motion to expend $560,263 for student and staff support.
You got the other one there?
No, I don't.
Second.
Yeah, take this one. I can read the smart, Charlotte.
Okay, sorry. Who seconded you?
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor of expending $560,263 for student and staff support, please raise your hands. 5 yes, 1 no. I'm assuming you're still a no.
Yes. I said 2 through 12.
I know that.
Thank you.
Article 7, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for system administration. School committee recommends to expend $209,078 for school administration. Can I get a motion?
System administration. I make a motion to expend $209,078 for system administration.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to expend $209,078 for system administration. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hands. 5, 1. Article 8, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for school administration. School committee recommends to expend $137,387 for school administration. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to expend $137,387 for school administration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of expending $137,387 for school administration, please raise your hands. 5, 1. Article 9, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for student transportation. School committee recommends to expend $287,500 for student transportation.
I make a motion to expend $287,500 for student transportation.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to comment. I was looking at some old records, and a few years back, before my time.
That's not a few years back, Dennis, that's many years back.
That was wagons.
1904, people.
The people had an issue with how much it was costing to transport our children. So the superintendent,
1904.
then, I guess, made all the decisions. Said the kids had to, more kids had to walk. They changed it from 1 mile to 2.5 miles. And it cut down on the cost of transportation. And 100 years later, I just think we move past that. And I think this is a great thing we do for our kids.
I'd like to make a comment, or actually I'd like to ask the superintendent, did your joining the pact go through?
It did.
For your school transportation?
School committee last Tuesday, yes, sir.
Very good. So basically the town has joined a group of other schools in a transportation pact, if you will. Basically, we're making out real well. We're getting 5 brand new buses. I'm talking brand new. The man ordered them the day after. And they will be labeled Town of Acton, or Acton School. And there's also going to be a 6th bus sitting at the school for the schools and/or towns' utilization as is necessary. Basically, it'll be a spare bus in case something needs to go to the shop or in case something comes up. I think it was a great thing that you did, Mr. Ross, and I applaud you. Having said that,
I thought you was going to comment and compliment me on what I said. I didn't know you.
I'm hoping you're going to zip it.
Got a chance of that.
I know it. All right. We have a motion that's been made and seconded to expend $287,500 for student transportation. All those in favor? 5-1. Article 10. To see what sum of money the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for facilities maintenance. School committee recommends to expend $466,072 for facilities maintenance.
I make a motion to expend $466,072 for facilities maintenance.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I have 2 things.
Oh, we go.
Mr. Ross, is there anything in this budget for any time to hire some high school kids during the summer?
I had that discussion.
Yeah.
And I talked with Kim about the cost benefits of working on our own employees.
I don't know if you want to look at that.
In terms of different kinds of projects, we could perhaps use a couple of Acton kids to do during the summer.
Yeah.
Recommended through Kim in Business and Finance. The best way to do that is we contract with a local, let's say, a local landscaper for some of the projects that we might need, and insist that the local landscaper actually be the employer of record but would work for the school.
Okay. The other thing is, I just want to bring to your attention that I did speak to the road commissioners and the selectmen Saturday about that so-called gravel pit down there, and I told them that what my feeling was where the municipal end caused the mess down there, that it should come out of the road budget and not out of the school budget. And I'm going to continue to pursue that, at least until June town meeting, with your blessing.
If I can, Dennis, your thoughts on this, the last meeting we had, right in line with the long-range planning committee, which has met, and we walked the property and have the same plan, the same thinking of how we could use that land better for athletics and events and that deal.
It just wouldn't matter to me where the money comes from. The school department paid to get that all reclaimed once, and it was all mowable. And then they went in and made the mess. The road department did. So I think the reclaiming, at least the financial impact, should be on the road budget, not on the school budget. That's where I'm going with it.
Is that it, Dennis?
That's it.
We have a motion, and it's been seconded, to expend $466,072 for facilities maintenance. All those in favor, please raise your hands. 5-1. Article 11. Oh, another freebie. I like it. To see what sum of money, the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for debt service and other commitments. School committee recommends expend 0 for debt service because they don't have any debt. Can I get a motion?
That last vote, you said was 5-1. I didn't see any no votes.
The no vote is understood by Mr. Gore. He is voting no on Articles 2 through 12. Consistently.
He's tired.
I announced that right at the beginning. Jim,
sorry, Jim.
Go back and look at the tape, you'll see.
I think you should still raise your hand.
Since I walked in a little bit, I thought it was at 7. The no votes it has nothing to do with financial numbers or budgeting. It's just, is it a language issue like it's been for like the last 5 or 6 years?
Yes, Jim.
I make a motion to expend $0 for debt service.
Second.
I have a motion to expend $0 for debt service, and it has been seconded. Any further discussion?
Excuse me, did you say they can't have debt service?
They don't have any debt. So they don't
So why have the
expend
warrant?
$0 because
It's
it's,
required by the state.
they have to have the article. Just like the other one that was $0.
Yeah, but it was the same question, why have it on there?
Yeah.
It has to be in the budget that way. It doesn't have to be in the budget.
They're the same as the one from vocational, which really refers to high schools.
Yeah.
So we have 0 on those two, but the articles are required by the state to be put in the warrant.
Kind of foolish, huh?
Not very efficient.
Now, we could put some money in this.
I would correct that if I may, again.
What I was thinking was, if we put some money into this, maybe the school department could pay some of my debt. They don't have any.
Why would they?
I don't know.
You're not a student.
Well, I could go back.
You have a comment, Tom?
Yes, I do. I just want to clarify something here. It is true that in the budget presentation process to the state, those articles have to be in there and worded as such. It is not true that in the budget validation process, those articles have to be included in there. The warrant that goes to the Acton Town Meeting does not need to include those. There's a carve-out for municipal school districts, and I brought that issue to the attention of the town meeting last year, and I quoted and cited the law for everybody to look at. But you can go back and look at it, and that's all I have to say about it.
Could you please raise your hand with a no vote, Tom, and make it official?
I'll be glad to. Sure.
We have a motion that's been made and seconded to expend 0 for debt service. All those in favor of that motion? 5. Those against? 1.
Can we abstain?
Who abstained?
No, I said, can we abstain?
Can you abstain?
Yes.
Why would you wish to abstain? I'm curious.
Just to be honorary.
Just to be honorary, thank you. Moving right along.
that an abstention then? I mean, did you really abstain?
No, I voted for it.
No,
but
she was asking a question.
Do I have the option of abstaining?
That's okay.
You're keeping score, good.
Article 12, and Tom's final. To see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for all other expenditures, including nutrition. School committee recommends to expend $145,186 for all other expenditures, including nutrition.
I make a motion to expend $145,186 for all other expenditures, including nutrition.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just made the point that I don't like the terminology, all other expenditures. I have no idea what it means, so that's another reason for voting no on that article.
So noted. We have a motion that has been seconded to expend $145,186 for all other expenditures, including nutrition. All those in favor? Was that 4?
That's 4.
Against? 2. Moving along. Oh, joy. Article 13.
Would you like me to read it?
Waive the reading. No.
Would you like me to waive the reading?
No. See what sum the municipality will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programmed Services Funding Act 3654359, and to see what sum the municipality will raise as the municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programmed Services Funding Act 3383600, in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15688.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Gore.
I'd like to recommend the school committee's recommendation on this article.
I have a recommendation.
To accept the school committee's recommendation.
Second.
It's been... Okay. Have a motion? Was that a motion, Tom?
That was a motion.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to accept the school committee's recommendation. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 5? 6? Is it 5 or 6?
I have my hand up.
No.
No, it's Tom. You're in favor?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a 6-0. Oh, my Lord. Call the ambulance.
What a shit.
Call the ambulance. I'm having a small episode here. Moving along. Article 14. This article requires a written ballot to see what sum the municipality will raise and appropriate in additional local funds. Recommend $1,576,400 that exceeds the state essential program services allocation model by $1,576,400 as required to fund the budget recommended by the school committee. Can I get a recommendation? Or can I get a motion? Put it that way. I can't even get a motion.
I make a motion to accept the school committee's recommendation.
Second.
Ooh. I have a motion. It's been seconded to accept the school committee's recommendation. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to ask I got a question that, when I mentioned before about the per pupil cost of $14,699, it says on the top of that this excludes capital outlay, transportation, and federal expenditures. So this 1.5 million over and above EPS would add more to this, does that add more to the $14,699?
The EPS formula does not include those items that you read.
Yeah.
For instance, transportation,
Yeah.
$280,000.
Yeah.
So it's not included in the EPS formula. So what they're making the statement is, our budget is in excess of a certain amount, excluding those things because it doesn't take it into consideration.
Right, so that puts the pupil costs up a little bit, yeah. Yeah, okay. I just want, okay, I just want to know.
Do you know the all-in per pupil cost? Like with the whole budget divided by the number of kids total?
It's a little tricky because you have to separate high school. Remember, we have approximately 100 high school kids that we're supporting too, so it's not just pre-K through 8.
Yeah.
And the funding at the high school level, just like it is pre-K through 8, is at a different level from the state, as well as special education. One would tend to like to just take the total amount that we spend and divide by the total number of students, but really just not that simple. If you wanted us to dig into that, I'm sure Kim and I could come up with an equitable way, because we've looked at this a number of ways. In last year's budget cycle, we did this a lot. We had a lot of these conversations.
I'm just curious. It wouldn't change my vote one way or the other. I'm just curious.
I have year-old data to suggest where we're at, again, comparing apples to apples.
Any other comments?
Yes.
Speak.
Just to make the committee aware, last year, Warrant and Finance came to the conclusion by a vote of 5-1 that the reserve funds created at the April 2015 meeting should have been liquidated and returned to the town when funds lapsed. They were not. Now, I'm not proposing anything at this point in time, but there's $214,378.98 in those 5 reserve accounts that were created at 205 Minute. You could reduce the amount to be raised from what it is stated in the article to $1,362,021.02 if you would like to make that recommendation to liquidate those accounts and expend that money for the additional cost.
Is that the end of your comment, Tom?
The Warrant and Finance voted that motion down last year, and that's fine. That's what we're here for. And so feel free to do what you want. I just want you to be aware that if you do feel the need or the desire to bring taxes in line, the opportunity does exist there.
Is there a recommendation? I know like with the municipal budget, there's a recommendation on what you should, is this something totally different?
There's undesignated fund balance policy that Kim can tell you about.
I mean, is that what he's talking about? Is your undesignated funds, or is this something different?
No, it's not undesignated funds.
Tom is talking about 5 reserve accounts, which he has had issues with since their inception. He doesn't feel that the accounts were created legally, and he also does not feel that they should exist in perpetuity. However, I'm not entertaining that. We have a motion, and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? I'd like to call for a vote, please. All those in favor of the school committee's recommendation? 6-0? Yeah. Be still, my little heart. Moving along. I believe we are now on Article 15. Article 15 summarizes the proposed school budget. Article 15 actually says, to see what sum the town of Acton will authorize the school committee to expend for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019, ending June 30th, 2020, from the school department's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-K to grade 12 as described in the EPS Funding Act, non-state funded school construction products, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school committee recommends to expend $5,607,553 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019, ending June 30th, 2020, from the school department's contribution to the total cost of funding public education pre-K to grade 12. I know there's got to be more. And there isn't. Ha ha ha. Great. Can I get a motion?
No, I thought he was going to read theirs.
I make a motion to accept the school committee's recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion that's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Tom?
I just will object to it based on the wording again, not on the substance.
It's noted.
Thank you. School committee again cannot expend anything.
Noted. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I have a motion that's been made and seconded. All those in favor of accepting the school committee's recommendation, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those opposed? 1. Article 16. Articles 16 through 18 authorize expenditure of grants and other receipts. 16 states, shall the school committee be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school purposes, provided that such grants, programs, and other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated. School committee recommends to authorize the expenditure of grants and other funds as per Article 16. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to authorize expenditure of grants and other funds as per Article 16.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion that's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Yes, Tom?
The Warrant and Finance should understand that one of those reserve accounts that we discussed a few minutes ago provides money that the school department believes they can expend at will to subsidize any of these accounts that they wish to engage in. I don't have a problem with that. Well, I shouldn't say I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with those reserve accounts. But what I'm saying is the portion of this article having to do with expenditure of funds not previously appropriated is irrelevant, because the school committee has one of those reserve accounts specifically for that purpose. And they have decided that their appropriation, which they made of that fund in 2015, is still valid, in spite of the fact that in the terms of the context of the town meeting, that to make an appropriation, the appropriation expires at the end of the fiscal year in which it is made. okay? So understand that this does not provide any cap or within limits. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Ross.
This article has to do with monies outside of the general fund budget that might come in from the state or the federal process. That we need to have. What was that?
So they spoke to me about it. In order to host the
Gremlins.
Shall I continue?
Sounds like the tape is playing
It's a rerun on Dennis. It's a rerun on me.
Alexa, please. My point is, we need the
That's too
authority
funny.
from the town to spend monies that come in from other sources other than the town. That's simply what this is. For instance, our Title I funds, which are federal monies that are outside of our local budget. School law provides that we have to have authority to accept those funds, to spend them. This has really little to do or nothing to do with reserve accounts, this particular article.
Would you be opposed to making a recommendation?
Go ahead, John. Now, what I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to interrupt you.
That last Saturday?
No, this is from the workshop when we were there.
Like the Brady Bunch.
Unplug it.
Playing over and over and over.
My God, Dennis, you never stop.
Let it play.
You broke the internet, Dennis.
This new technology and I just don't mix.
That's the thing going.
Wonderful stuff.
Unplug the speaker it's plugged into.
Your wife has beautiful handwriting. She writes like a school teacher.
We should have an ed tech at every meeting.
I think we're supposed to have one back there, don't we? Just turn the volume down on it. Volume knob there somewhere.
Plug the speaker.
Let it run. Turn the volume down.
It's bad enough that they have to listen to me at one meeting, but when they have to listen to me at two meetings at the same time.
Did you finish, Mr. Morrow?
I did. I did, thank you.
So I have a motion that has been made and seconded to authorize the school committee to expend grants and other funds as per Article 16. Any other discussion? All those in favor? 6-0. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Jen, call the fire department. Ticker's going bad. To see if the town of Acton will appropriate the receipt of certain federal and state grants and carry any previous balances forward for all grant revenue accounts. School committee recommends to appropriate receipt of federal and state grants funds as per Article 17. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to appropriate receipt of federal and state grant funds as per Article 17.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the school committee's recommendation, please raise your hands. 6-0. Yee-hoo. My heart's getting better. Article 18.
Are you all right?
To see if the town of Acton will vote to raise and appropriate the following revenues, balances carried, and fund transfers to fund food service budget in addition to amounts raised by taxation for food services in the school operating budget. School nutritional revenues, $80,000. School committee recommends to raise and appropriate revenues to fund the nutrition budget as per Article 18. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to raise and appropriate revenues to fund the nutrition budget as per Article 18.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes.
We have a discussion. Yes, Tom?
Again, going to the same topic as we discussed last week, the term raise is a term used in common law in the town meeting process to authorize the selectmen to tax the public. Okay? And what this article actually does in the context of the town meeting is it allows them to tax the public to raise such funds as we have stipulated here. That's not our intent. This is very confusing, and again, I will vote no on this. I thought we were going to address this issue. After our last meeting, apparently it hasn't been addressed, or you have some answer that we don't have. But in any case, I can't vote for it. Because that's
Tom, we did.
Yeah.
We changed, I say we didn't. The school committee changed the wording on that. The last time it was to raise and appropriate wasn't in there. And the answer that I've got since then is when you charge, for example, the kids for their lunch.
Yep.
You're raising that money?
No.
You're raising that revenue? That was my explanation, Tom.
Okay, that's your explanation. Again, I will object because that basically is an authorization for the selectmen to add that $80,000 to the amount that they will raise by taxes, because that's what the term means in the context, the common law context of the town meeting. I've said all I'm going to say on it, and you can vote on it.
Me too, Tom.
I have a motion that's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote. Do we recommend the school committee's recommendation? Yes or no? Yes? 5 yes. Any noes? 1 no. Article 19, make my night. Article 19 is to authorize a transfer to and expend from the Capital Improvement Reserve Fund. Article 19 says to see what sum the town of Acton will vote to transfer funds from the school's unexpended funds to the school's designated capital improvement reserve account and to expend funds from that reserve account. This account is used for purposes of paving the parking lots and sidewalks. School committee recommends transfer $20,000 from the school's unexpended funds to the school's designated capital improvement reserve account for the purpose of paving the parking lots and sidewalks. Do I have a recommendation, or a motion, excuse me?
I make a motion to accept the school committee's recommendation.
I have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion.
How much money is in the capital improvement fund?
For paving in particular, there's $15,000. We raised the town.
Town put 15 last year. And that is specific only to paving.
Is there another capital improvement account that you have?
Balance left in there of about $4,500 because originally we were doing all the windows, and our facility director actually figured out how to do it himself and saved us that $4,500.
Doing what, I'm sorry?
Windows.
The windows? Okay.
As part of, we had a group of certain items that were being fixed, and that the windows was one of them, and that's where we saved quite a bit of money. So we basically are thinking to use that also for paving.
So we're 19.5.
Yes.
So we're 19.5 with 15 raised specifically for paving.
19.3, I think.
19.3.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last article, and we're talking about reserve funds, and I'm not sure exactly what you got, but is it your intent, John, to try to put a warrant article through at the June town meeting to get those seams redone on the roof. It's been 20 years, and my feeling is, like I explained before, if we wait any longer, the longer we wait, the more chance is it's going to cost us more money. And it's a small amount of money.
To the roof right now?
Yes.
Right now, Dennis, it's not my intent, because I don't know that we have enough data. I know Andy's working on getting core samples for what we need to do with the roof. But right now, as of this March date, it's not the intent for anything on the town meeting in regards to the roof. If we find we need to, then it could be my intent, but I don't think we have enough information right now to make that decision.
It just, again, I mean, I know I said it before, it's a lot cheaper to be proactive than it is reactive. And if those seams open up next winter, you don't know what it's going to do with the ice and things like that. I mean, you've been in the business a long time, John, and that's all I got to say.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. I have a motion that's been made and seconded.
Mr. Chairman, I have comments.
Yes, Mr. Gore.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to endorse what Dennis is suggesting here, that we move forward with all haste on those concerns, because the cost of maintenance goes up exponentially once deterioration begins, and if there has been any, it will just skyrocket. And we all know that. It's not a linear progression, it's an exponential progression. Having made that comment, I will address Article 19 now. My first objection is the terminology unexpended funds. I don't know what that is, what those unexpended funds are. They could be anything. That should say fiscal year 2019 undesignated fund balance, I think. But it doesn't say that. It says unexpended funds, so they could be coming from anywhere and just haven't been spent. I have no idea what they are. Okay. Secondly, what we're doing here is maintenance. It's not capital improvement. Replacement of existing capital is maintenance. It is not a capital improvement. It does not belong in a capital improvement account. It is a maintenance item, and so this is an inappropriate place to put those funds. And thirdly, again, you all know my feelings about the school's designated capital improvement reserve accounts. I believe those accounts were created illegally for purposes of sidestepping the law at the time, and they continue to exist and be managed inappropriately. Done.
That's a terrible accusation that you said.
Fine.
Come on.
It's false.
Mr. Chairman.
It's absolutely incredible that you continue 5 straight years with this nonsense.
Can we have some decor here?
Straighten these questions out for you.
Mr. Chairman.
I move the vote.
Yeah.
Calling the vote. We have a motion that's been made and seconded for Article 19 to accept the school committee's recommendation. All those in favor? 5. All those opposed? 1. With that, we are...
No.
Wait. With that, we have completed all of the articles in this warrant. We have other things or something else that you would like to bring up?
Due to the freedom of information, I'd like to get the next 2 meetings scheduled for us, because we have a lot to do to go over the municipal budget. So I'd like to get them on my calendar, which fills up quite quickly. Please.
I'd love to do that.
Me too.
But I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Carol does.
I do.
Tell us what works for you.
I can tell you that I am free next week, Monday and Wednesday.
What are those dates, please?
The 25th or the 27th.
I was thinking of next month.
Oh, you want to go into April?
Yes. I don't foresee the need. We could have one meeting toward the end of this month and then go from there, because I think we're going to need to have probably 2, maybe 3 meetings.
Yeah.
Okay? But I don't see that we don't have to give our recommendation. We don't even have a warrant yet.
I just have an extensive list of questions that I want to give an appropriate amount of time for the various departments to come up with answers.
I fully understand that, so give us a date.
You want to go to April?
No, give us a date for the end of this month.
How about Wednesday, the 27th at 6 o'clock?
Good. Wednesday.
Does that work for you, Virginia?
Yep. 29th.
Wednesday, the 27th at 6. I don't see a problem with that.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. As to the other meetings, I will try to get them scheduled out as soon as possible.
Okay.
Wednesday, the 26th, right?
27th, yeah, that's what I thought.
Wednesday, the 27th.
27th at 6.
You have that, Jennifer?
I have to check my calendar to make sure, check the town calendar to make sure it's clear, but any questions you have for various department heads, you can email them in advance, we can give the department heads a chance to review them and then make sure, if you feel the president you want on that meeting, you need to know well in advance so the selectmen and department heads can make those arrangements, so.
Right.
Roland, if you can get me a list of questions and department heads, we will get it scheduled. If you want them to come that night or if you're expecting answers that night.
I understand, and this is nothing against Roland, but I understand that we're supposed to go through the chair. But last time I emailed to the chair, it didn't get to the board in time, and my questions were not taken into consideration.
My bad. I apologize for that
So if I am to give them to you.
Shoot them to me and I will shoot them to the selectmen and Jennifer. You can CC Jennifer at the same time.
Okay. All right.
But with that being said, I mean, the selectmen stated Saturday, the things that we were asking, that they wanted to move on, that they would be discussing this stuff at the selectmen's meeting. We could
Well,
continue discussion on
some of the things that were brought up at Saturday's meeting were more appropriate for the Board of Selectmen meeting, vice, the budget meeting.
With that being said, I think we all know that I won't be asking any questions at a selectmen's meeting, so they're gonna have to happen at a Warrant and Finance, because I can't make the selectmen's meetings.
Good point.
Good point. Good point.
You ought to make that point sometime.
She does.
Every now and then.
Is that it, folks?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been seconded. I thank everybody for their attendance and their participation, and have a great evening.
Hey.